My name is Cathy Crabb and I'm a scriptwriter, poet and journalist and lyricist, and I just love writing and that's what I do. Okay, so how do you, I or anyone keep getting new work? Staying focused on your career, keeping on moving on to the next job, looking for the next job all the time, keeping yourself active and current, looking at work that's out there and work that you would like to do. You find ways to make connections with people who do the kind of work that you want to do. You look at funding, which is difficult this year but will be up and running again before the year is out, hopefully. And you look at funding and what is possible for you. You look at competitions and what's also possible for you. And yeah, keeping current and keeping moving forward. My advice for anyone wanting to go into the performing industry is absolutely do it. It's the best life. Making up stories all the time in whatever realm you choose is the absolute best life, and I completely recommend it to all of you. My advice is have thick skin, because not everybody likes what you do, and sometimes that's tough. That is tough. You grow a thick skin, understand you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Understand that if you've got something to say and you believe that to be interesting, then chances are at least 5 other people are going to find that interesting, and then it bleeds out from there, you see. And just, yeah, absolutely do it. Work hard. Make it your life. Tell people amazing stories. Okay, so this is part of my process. I walk a lot and think things through. That's how I do it. That's how I've always done it, because I've always had children or animals that need walking since being a writer. So if you're a writer and you have children, or you have animals, or you're a carer, or you take your siblings out a lot, then my process is probably really good for you. This is what I do. Think it through on a really long walk. Yeah. So I'll take you through some of the questions on my walk. So, talking about the worst part of my job. I suppose the worst part is when you've had the initial ideas, you know you're going to have to put the graft in then, because you have these ideas all different times, and then you've got to sit down and write it all down, and that can be the boring part. But it's also the best part, because you really feel like you're your own boss, you know. But then again, that comes with another worst part of not knowing it's right until you show it other people. But on showing other people, you know, always remember that you thought that was good in the first place, and you've got to listen to what might not work and what will work and what maybe could be a bit better, because you can't put your finger on what you've done really. However,
you're also a good judge of stuff, because don't forget, you watch things all the time and you write things all the time. So you stick to your guns a little bit, but also accepts that you don't have all the answers. Okay, so training and experience. Okay, the training that I had is I'd been in theatre all my life since being really young. I'd been at Oldham Theatre Workshop when I was younger. Before that, I did ballet and tap, and then after that, I started to. After I finished at Oldham Theatre Workshop, I went to college and I studied performing arts, and then I did some fringe shows after that as part of my course, and then after that I had a baby, and that changed my life entirely, and the world seemed awful and beautiful overnight. And then I went to work in London for a while at the London Palladium. I was a costume dresser. And then I went to university because I knew I wanted to write in a certain way, because I'm a working class writer and that's my experience in life. But I also wanted to make sure that I knew my onions, that I knew everything that I needed to know to, I suppose, justify myself in a way. And then I went to university, and then I decided that I had the confidence to put my own work on, and started to put my own work on, and then after that I became known as a writer. And that's the process that I would encourage for you, is to put your own work on. Read, watch loads of plays or films as well, if you write film too, and TV things. Just all know your craft, study everything, work out how long scenes are, work out props, work everything out, work out what everything that goes in a play, the lighting, the music, and hit the ground running, and make things better, or make things in your voice, and a voice that you know you haven't heard anyone else do. So let's talk about being professional and getting your first job. As a writer, one of the things that you really need to bear in mind to keep a professional head on your shoulders is to listen, because you're going to be part of a team. So you need to listen to the opinions and advice and suggestions of your team as your work moves forward into performance. And you need to understand that you're the first cog in a much bigger machine. So professionally, that's what I would say. And just the usual things of don't keep turning up late. You know, just don't keep turning up late, and finishing early and all those things. Meet deadlines. That's another thing that's very important, meeting deadlines. And with regards to getting your first job, you make your first job and you gather the team. You can easily do that. You gather your own team, you get your own team together, of actors and a director and a producer, and put your work on, and then you'll get a share of the profits of that, or maybe you'll go for funding, and that will give you a lot of satisfaction. I know it's harder than I'm making it out to be, but it's as easy and as hard as you make it, because you're going to be doing something that you really love, and that is worth the time and effort. So be brave and decide that you're putting your own work on, and get your career off the ground, and then you can invite people to look at your work then. Okay, so going back to the writing process and how you get started, I'm going to elaborate on that and talk about when you feel stuck. Well, you should go for a walk, or take yourself out of the situation that you're in right there and then, which obviously helps for many things, but is quite difficult at the minute. But even going out of there into another room, reading something and doing something different will make a difference, because it'll take your brain out of that churning over that you can't find your idea. And then I would go back once you feel refreshed in some way, and say if it was something like, I don't know, the best way to move on from this scene, or I don't know the best ending for this scene, I would write 10 to 20 endings for that scene very quickly in 10 minutes. Give yourself 10 minutes and time yourself, and just keep firing away and firing away. And by 7+ you start to get some interesting ideas you never thought of before. In the way to start writing a scene, very similar. Think of the best 10 ways you can imagine it beginning, or imagine how 10 different people who you like, or perhaps you're not keen on their writing on, you know, even they may not be writers, but how 10 people would start that scene, and just get yourself going. There's always ways to shunt yourself forward, and every time you have an idea that you think, I can't actually believe I came up with that, you should congratulate yourself.